I will take this opportunity to introduce to you our directors who are with us virtually today and our company secretary. I start with our Group Managing Director, Mr. Yemi Odubi.
Good morning,
okay.
Directors and shareholders.
Next to Mr. Yemi Odubi is the Managing Director of the bank, Mr. Abubakar Suleiman.
Good morning, directors and shareholders.
Next to the MD is Mr. Shola Dekoya, Non-Executive Director.
Good morning, directors and shareholders.
Next to Shola is Ms. Aisha Bashir, Independent Director.
Good morning, directors and shareholders.
Next to Aisha is Ms. Eniye Abakedoremo, Independent Director.
Good morning, directors and shareholders.
Next to Eniye is Mr. Olayin Kauni, Executive Director.
Good morning, directors and shareholders.
I'm Yemi Adeola, the chairman of the group. Good morning, and it's my pleasure to chair this meeting. Last but not the least is our company secretary, Mrs. Temitayo Adegoke.
Good morning, directors and shareholders.
I would also like to introduce to you the chairman of the company statutory audit committee, Alhaji Mustafa Jinodu. In addition, please permit me to introduce to you the company's external auditors, our consultants, registrars, and representatives of the regulatory authorities. First, Deloitte & Touche, represented by Michael Daudu, Michael Oshiloye, Christiana Dada, and Adirayo Balogun. Ernst & Young, represented by Margaret Rosibiang, Nkemdilim Awani, and Abiodun Ogunoiki. Pace Registrars Limited are registrars represented by Tokumbo Adeniji and Jalili Lawal. Next, we have the Nigerian Exchange Group represented by Ms. Brenda Duke. We also have the Central Bank of Nigeria represented by Usman Mohammed and Boma Alalibo. We also have the Securities and Exchange Commission with us today. May I also specially recognize our distinguished shareholders and proxies who are with us virtually today. In accordance with the provisions of Section 256 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, I now call on our company secretary, Mrs. Temitayo Adegoke, to confirm that the meeting has been properly constituted and quorated. Temitayo.
I confirm that the meeting has been duly convened and properly constituted in accordance with Section 256 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. Based on the shareholders present and in proxy, I confirm we have a quorum. Thank you.
Thank you, Temitayo. I now call on the company secretary to read the notice convening this meeting.
Thank you. Notice is hereby given that the first annual general meeting of Sterling Financial Holdings Company PLC will be held virtually via Sterling Holdco.ng/AGM on Monday, the 24th of June at 10 a.m. to transact the following business. Ordinary business, to receive the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, the reports of the directors and the statutory audit committee thereon, to elect and re-elect directors, to appoint Deloitte & Touche as external auditors of the company, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors, to disclose the remuneration of the managers under sections 238 and 257 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, to elect shareholder representatives of the statutory audit committee. Special business, to consider and if thought fit, pass the following resolution as an ordinary resolution, that the annual directors' fees for the year ended 31st December 2024 be fixed at 178,000 157,170,000 naira until reviewed by the members at an annual general meeting. To consider and if thought fit, pass the following subjoined resolutions as ordinary resolutions. That the company be and is hereby authorized to raise an additional capital of up to 200 billion naira through the issuance of shares in the Nigerian capital market by way of rights issues, private placements, public offers, private and other transaction modes at a price, coupon, or interest rates determined through book building or any other acceptable valuation method or combination of methods in such tranches, series, or proportions within such maturity periods and at such dates and upon such terms and conditions as may be determined by the board of directors of the company, subject to obtaining the requisite approvals from the regulatory authorities. To consider and if thought fit, pass the following as a special resolution, that the memorandum and articles of association of the company be amended to reflect the company's new share capital after the capital raising exercise in the resolutions above, and that the board of directors be and is hereby authorized to file the amended MEMAT at the Corporate Affairs Commission. A member of the company entitled to attend and vote at the annual general meeting is entitled to appoint a proxy to attend and vote in his stead. A proxy need not be a member of the company. To be valid, a completed proxy form must be deposited at the office of the registrar, Pace Registrars Limited, Akuru House, 8th floor, 24 Campbell Street, not less than 48 hours before the time of the meeting. A blank proxy form is attached to this notice by order of the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Temitayo. I now formally declare the meeting open. I will now present the chairman's statement. And if it is the wish of the shareholders that we take this as read, then we'll have a more efficient meeting today. Will somebody please suggest if we should take the chairman's statement as read?
Taking as read, Mr. Chairman, my name is Mrs. Bisi Bakari.
Thank you, Mrs. Bakari. So we'll take the chairman's statement as read. We now go straight to the ordinary business. In accordance with Section 248, subsection 1A of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, I, as chairman of this meeting, hereby call for a poll in respect of all items on the agenda, except item number 5, disclosure of remuneration of managers of the company, and item number 6, election of members of the Statutory Audit Committee. Please note that a simple majority of votes will be required to pass each ordinary resolution at the meeting. Registrars, are you there? Tokumbo, please unmute yourself.
I've done that already. Sorry for the We are sorry for the little issue, sir.
Please proceed.
And good morning to other directors and shareholders. Shareholders who have submitted proxy forms and indicated their voting pattern will not be required to participate in this voting process. Also, shareholders who have joined virtually and that have pre-registered and voted online through virtualmeeting.paceregistrar.net will not be able to participate because we have taken note of their votes. While shareholders who have not done any of the above can indicate by raising up their hand on their device, mobile phone, laptop, or desktop, through which they have joined this meeting to cast their vote. We have only 15 seconds for each vote. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tokumbo. To facilitate the smooth conduct of the business of the day, I will move the motion and invite a shareholder to second the motion. Seconders are kindly requested to state their names to enable the company secretary to take notes and minutes same accordingly. The first item on the agenda is to receive the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, audit committee, and the consultant on our board appraisal. I now call on the representative of the company's auditors, Deloitte and Touche, to read the report of the auditors.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Chairman and distinguished stakeholders present. Mr. Chairman, with your permission and the permission of the shareholders, to save our time, our report is on page 153 to 156 of the annual report. But, sir, with your kind permission and that of the shareholders, I would want to read excerpts of the report on page 153 and also the last paragraph on page 156.
Please proceed.
Thank you, sir. Good morning once again. My name is Michael Deldo. I'm the engagement partner, and I have my colleagues on the line, Michael Shinloye, Christiana Dada, and Adera Obalogun. Our report, like I said, is on page 153 to 156. I read as follows. Independent auditors report to the shareholders of Sterling Financial Holdings Company, PLC. Report on the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements. Opinion. We have audited the consolidated and separate financial statements of Sterling Financial Holdings Company, PLC, and its subsidiaries, the group and company, set out on pages 158 to 291, which comprise the consolidated and separate statements of financial position as at 31st December 2023, the consolidated and separate statements of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, the consolidated and separate statements of changes in equity, the consolidated and separate statements of cash flow for the year then ended, and the notes to the consolidated and separate financial statements, including material accounting policy information. In our opinion, the consolidated and separate financial statements give a true and fair view of the consolidated and separate financial position of Sterling Financial Holdings Company, PLC, as at 31st December, and its consolidated and separate financial performance and consolidated and separate statement of cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with IFRS accounting standards as issued by the International Accounting Standards Board and the requirements of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, Bank and Other Financial Institutions Act, and Other Reporting Council of Nigeria Amendment Act 2023, Sharia governance requirements issued by Central Bank of Nigeria, Financial Regulation Advisory Council of Experts, and other relevant standards issued by the Accounting and Auditing Organization for Islamic Financial Institutions, AOFI. I will point us to page 156, where I'll read the last paragraph. Report on the other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with the 5th schedule of Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we expressly state that 1, we have obtained all the information and explanation which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. The group has kept proper books of accounts so far as appears from examination of those books. The group and company's financial position and its statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of account and returns. In accordance with Circular BSD 1/2004 issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria, details of insider-related credits are as disclosed in Note 36B. During the year, the group contravened certain sections of the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act and CBN Circular Guidelines. Details of the contravention and related penalty is as disclosed in Note 42 to the financial statements. Signed for on behalf of Deloitte and Touche on the 29th May by my humble self. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Dauju. I now call on the chairman of the Statutory Audit Committee to read the report of the Audit Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, sir.
You're
Report
welcome.
of the Statutory Audit Committee for the year ended December 2023 to the member of Sterling Financial Holding Company PLC. Please, may I refer you to page 149 of the annual report in your possession. Now I read. In accordance with the provision of section 404, subsection 7 of the Company and Other Matter Act 2020, the members of the Statutory Audit Committee of Sterling Financial Holding Company PLC hereby report as follows. We are of the opinion that the accounting and reporting policy of the group are in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standards and legal requirements and agreed ethical practices. We believe that the scope and planning of both the external and internal audit for the year ended 31st December 2023 were satisfactory and reinforce the group's internal control system. We have deliberated with the external auditors who have confirmed that necessary cooperation was received from management in the course of the audit, and we are satisfied with the management's response to the external auditors' recommendation on accounting and internal control matters. The internal control and internal audit functions we are operating effectively. We have exercised our statutory functions under section 404, section 7 of the Companies and Other Matter Act 2020 and acknowledge the cooperation of management and staff in the conduct of these responsibilities. We are satisfied that the company has complied with the provision of the Central Bank of Nigeria Circular BSD/1/2004 dated 18 February 2004 on disclosure of directors' related credits in the consolidated and separate financial statement of banks. We have reviewed inside related credit of the group and found there to be as analyzed in the consolidated and separate financial statements. The status of performance of this facility is disclosed in note 36, subsection B, to the consolidated and separate financial statements. Dated 20 March 2024. Mr. Chairman, sir, I would like to introduce the member of Audit Committee, Mr. Adeshola Adekoya, Mr. Ndugezi Udo, Ms. Chrissy Vincent, Ms. Eneye Ambakadere, Mrs. Temitayo Adegoke serve as the secretary to this committee. This report was signed by my humble self, Mustafa Jinodu, on behalf of the Statutory Audit Committee of Sterling Financial Holding Company PLC. Thank you all for listening. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Alhaji Jinodu. Thank you. I now call on the representative of the company's consultant on board appraisal, Ernst & Young, to read the report of the board appraisal review.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Thank you, directors. Thank you, shareholders. On the call, I have my colleagues with me, Nkem Dilim Awani, Margaret Rose Ibian, and my name is Abiodun Gunoiki. The report of external consultants on the board performance evaluation of Sterling Financial Holding Company PLC. This can be found on page 148 of the annual general reports. And with your permission, sir, I would like to read an abridged version.
Please proceed.
Thank you, sir. We have performed the evaluation of the board of Sterling Financial Holdings Company PLC for the year ended 2023 in accordance with the CBN Corporate Governance Guidelines, Securities and Exchange Corporate Governance Guidelines, and the FRC Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance 2018. The FRC NCCG 2018 states that annual board evaluation assesses how each director, the committees of the board, and the board are committed to their roles, work together, and continue to contribute effectively to the achievement of the company's objectives. Subsection 15.2 of the FRC NCCG states that the summary of the report of this evaluation should be included in the company's annual report and on the investors portal. Based on our work, the board of Sterling Financial Holdings Company PLC has complied with the Central Bank of Nigeria Corporate Governance Guidelines 2023, the Securities and Exchange Commission Corporate Governance Guidelines for Public Companies in Nigeria, and the Financial Reporting Council Nigeria Code of Corporate Governance NCCG 2018 during the year ended 31st December 2023. So this was signed by myself, Partner and Head of Financial Services Risk Management West Africa, on behalf of Ernst & Young. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ogunaiki. I now lay the audited group financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, together with the reports of the directors and auditors thereon before you. Are there any questions or comments on the accounts or reports? Please signify by raising your hand. Kindly state your name for noting and record purposes. Questions, comments? May I advise that we ensure that our questions do not exceed 2, so as to allow other shareholders to express their views today. May I call on Dr. Farouk Umar to set the ball rolling.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, let me commend the management of the bank for its performance. Even though we are not paying dividend, they have done very well for us. And again, we are now heading toward the recapitalization by CBN, which I'm very confident that our bank will be able to comply. Secondly, I'm very happy, like I said in my prayer, with us being now a Holdco company, it gives us room to do other businesses. Very few banks have gotten the privilege to become a Holdco company, and I think our board has been proactive to apply and get the license to become a Holdco company. I also would like to say that I'm happy with the attendance I have seen at board, committee, and board meetings. I have to commend the MD of the main bank, Alhaji Abubakar, his executive directors, and management and staff for the kind of hard work they've been doing for us. I was privileged to attend here in Kano the launching of the alternate bank, and it was well attended, and I was highly delighted with the composition of the board. One of the directors, Hajia Amin Dutse, whom I have known for almost 40 years now. I know her integrity. She has worked in CBN, and seeing the kind of people that you have put on the board has really made us to believe that the subsidiary is going to do well. I know there are other people who would like to speak, but I would only want to appeal to the management to ensure that we reduce the fines by CBN. It is difficult for a bank to be run without violating 1 or 2 rules, but the more we reduce the penalties, the better for our organization. On a final note, I commend the audit committee, especially Alhaji Junaid. Anytime I wanted to know something about the bank, I would call him rather than call the MD. And I found him to be up to date And I'm appealing to you, Mr. Chairman. When you were on the board, I made this suggestion that we need to have a representation from the minority shareholders. Now that you have the opportunity to go into other businesses with Holdco license, it is our prayer that Mustafa Junaid would become a board member of one of our subsidiaries. Mr. Chairman, I'm a shareholder. Not only a shareholder, I have an account with Sterling Bank, both domiciliary and current and savings. And I'm appealing to other shareholders to ensure that they bring their business to the bank. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Farouk, for your insightful and useful comments and contribution. I will now invite Mr. Boniface Okezie.
Yes, sir. Chairman, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking. How are you too?
Yeah, fine. Good morning to other directors of a great company and fellow shareholder. Good morning. My name is Remero Kezia Boniface. Mr. Chairman, without wasting much of our time, I think we have done well. If we go on page 8 on financial highlights of this great company performance. But unfortunately, people will look at the performance and expected that dividend should have rolled out, which was lacking on page 5. Notice convened the meeting. That's what the mission there. Mr. Chairman, if you look at total assets, 2.5 trillion, that's 6.2% increase. That's a growth that our company is doing very well. Loans and advances, 895.8 billion, 21.4% increase. That means we are still doing well to lending to the real sectors in the economy. And gross earnings, 221.8 billion, Mr. Chairman, which is translated to 2.6%. And the interest on income, 83.4 billion, 9.2% increase. The Chairman, profit after tax, 22.7 billion. Then profit after tax, 21.6 billion, 11.8% increase. Mr. Chairman, on earning, we have 75 kobo earning per share. That means even if we pay 40 kobo or 30 kobo, we should have 45 kobo plug back into the business. But I know you're handicapped where the issue is coming from. Because if you have the make move to pay dividend to your shareholder, which will receive 15 kobo, translated 4.38 billion in the year 2022 financial year account, which you received in 2023 when it was paid. Because that at that time, we still just passed a resolution by shareholders annual meeting to move into Holdco structure from the bank. Because I believe strongly that as we have justified we're now Holdco Financial Holding Company PLC, it is not only bank alone that are contributing for this dividend to shareholders. Every other outlet we created must also up and doing so that we don't put undue pressure on the bank alone to pay all dividend to share to the shareholder or the group. So every other member of the group must contribute in their quota, making sure year in, year out, which will have something to share to the shareholders. Mr. Chairman, having said that, it is not that we didn't make profit or we declare loss. There's no loss. We make a huge profit. But I know CBN will not allow you to pay dividend. But at times we criticize CBN. But in their own wisdom, we should also allow them to take that decision of not allowing you, because we have not asked to go and raise capital, which we are going to pass a resolution today for the capital raise. Mr. Chairman, and the capital raise the CBN are talking about, it is not book building or book entry, it's a physical cash. They want to see it. So for us to pay dividend in this difficult situation where the purchasing power is lacking, where there's no money from people now to take their right, if we decided to opt for right or public offering, so I sympathize with the banks, what they are going through, Mr. Chairman, because the somersault in the regulatory is a problem in this country. Look at today, if we are working, despite that, Ancom take about 10.4 billion, 10.4 billion away from us, as against 9.1171 in previous years. NDIC 7.034 billion, as against 5.78 billion. That is on page 190 on this account, Mr. Chairman. So, monkey the war, baboon the chop. That means the deputy source, without even shareholder approval for this, money to go out, we are paying on 0.5% our earning to these people, body that do nothing for a period of 10 years. And we are saying, Mr. Chairman, we cannot be, because at the end of the day, Ancom will not going to buy a right issue. They're not going to buy the IPO. The money they are raising, they have not published their financial to the public to know how that, Heritage Bank is gone down. What is the role of Ancom to survey those banks? They are doing nothing. So the problem is that, Ancom should not be taking the money that are due to shareholders, and the CBN will allow this to go with impunity. We cannot allow to continue like this. You are now, racking your head, the board, the management, to see how to raise money for the capitalization. But one organization will sit down somewhere collecting this money without helping the bank to thrive. That is unacceptable. So the government might find a means to cancel this Ancom. NDIC can understandable because they are playing their role. When the bank go down, it is NDIC that will go in and take over and begin to pay whatever they call, bonuses or whatever, based on assets recovering. Mr. Chairman, we cannot continue in this way. So I want to commend what you are also doing on page 130 on financial, on page 130, yes. That means on the social corporate responsibility, 139, page 139. At least we have been doing very well to sharing this money out to other bodies, Stalin have been doing that, financing even those who are sweeping the road. Today there's a cholera outbreak. Without this llama cleaning the streets and the highways, it could have been a phenomenon, endemic all over the places. These are financed quoted by Stalin Group, would have been doing very well to the society. Mr. Chairman, but also we should not, spreading this donation on religious basis. We should also accommodate other people who might ask for help, either one religion or the other, or group or the other. We should also do the tentacle to the other part of this country, so that Stalin is a household name who have gone global nationally. And we are praying also that Stalin will also go global and having a presence in London, in America, in China. This is what we expect in other African countries. Since we're now holding company, that's what we should looking at, branching out and making money to pay shareholders. I believe that Stalin has a good workplace for its workers, and that is the all the award we have received, almost 9 in number. I want to commend the bank also what they're doing in getting this award. If you go to Stalin Group headquarters, people are proud to associate and work with that place. Good environment. That is what corporate is all about. When you work in a good environment, people will applaud you. People will be happy. We are working in a decent environment. And I know they also been taken care of in terms of remunerations. The chairman, I want to commend you so much for this financial performance. It's excellent. And we're going to support the bank in taking our right issue. Because this, as I said earlier, it is not about book building, it's about physical cash. Whether combined with the public offering, everything is possible. And the board have to take the initiative to make sure that we get the 200 billion we are requiring today. Maybe in 20, we'll go another round, So our private placement, whatever the board want to take that decision to arrive at that conclusion, make sure that Stalin Group financing the bank, we're not lacking behind, we will support. And like Farouk said, Junadi has been doing well in terms of representation as audit committee. So we pray that, the board will do him fit in other subsidiary, get him appointed because he's a fellow of Institute of Board of Directors. So I'm looking at also that is find the, appointment to other regions so that it doesn't end in one region, so that, starting today is a national outlook. So we should also spread our tentacle to other areas, both board appointment, both in management. And that's my submission, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Keze Boniface, for your consistent support and Your comments are noted. May I now invite Alhaji Tambari Kabiru. Alhaji Kabiru Tambari, you have the floor. You need to unmute yourself.
Are you hearing me, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning.
Our directors, my colleague shareholders, and regulatory authorities. My name is Kabiru Tambari Abdullahi, shareholder from Sokoto State. Mr. Chairman, I want to start by commenting ourselves with shareholders for the capital appreciation that we got in Sterling Financial Holdings early this year. Our shares touched as high as 8 Naira 20 Kobo in January 17, 2024, which is an historical to every shareholder of Sterling Financial Holdings, because Sterling Financial Holdings stay for a long time, 1 Naira plus less than 1 Naira. But January 17, as how I said, it touched as high as 8 Naira 20 Kobo, which we get capital appreciation on that. A lot of people that buy it at 1 Naira or less than 1 Naira, even if it is 2 Naira, they have make a lot of money. So I believe, God willing, with this right issue of 200 billion, we are going to make a lot after the allotment. What I just want to advise the board and the management, you know now no more share certificate, is just CSC is credited into our accounts. So please make sure you do whatever you can do in terms of our share price, because some maybe even now you come out with the share price, and if they take it when the allotment is out, maybe some would like to sell his shares. So you see from there, if the shares is too much at the floor, it will crash. Secondly, Mr. Chairman, I would like to commend Yemi Odubi, our Sterling Financial Holding CEO, for a wonderful result. I won't surprise, he has the kind of leadership since when he's the executive director of Sterling Bank, up to the time he finds himself in Sterling Holdco. So I hope this wonderful result will continue for a second quarter result, third quarter, up to the end of the year result. And by God willing, for non-receiving dividend this year because of this issue of CBN, and we are going for right issue, God willing, next year, I hope, I advise our shares, our dividend, will go up for marginally. Also, Mr. Chairman, I would like to appreciate you for the kind of leadership. Anywhere we find you, we know there is trusted and confidence. I know the kind of things you have done to Sterling Bank before the subsidiaries come in. I know what you are doing for many years, up to this time you stepped down, up to the time God brought you back as our chairman. Mr. Chairman, keep it up. Make sure you use all your experience, resources, dedicated connections, especially the family you come from. I know how your brother did well in founding GT Bank, and now you find yourself in Sterling Holding. Keep it up. We are going to succeed in our right issue 100% by God willing. What I just want to advise, make sure you bring the right issue at the right time and at good price, so that the shareholders can take their rights. And if you bring out at good price, the shareholders will continue to take their rights. And I believe, God willing, it will even oversubscribed. I won't step down again without commenting the company secretary and her team for the kind gesture they have did to us. Anytime we need information, especially this annual report, they are always in touch with us. Even on Saturday, the Milola sent me text about the annual report, and I still send her my email, although Lawal have already Jalil sent me the information since last week through my email address. So I commend them. I commend your registrars for doing the right thing. If you see good thing, it's come from sign of leadership. I pray God Almighty to help Sterling Bank, to help our leaders, to help the president to fix this country, especially the economic and the hardship we are facing in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alhaji Kabiru Tambari, for your kind words and positive comments. May I now invite Mrs. Oludewa Thorpe?
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning.
My fellow shareholders, and I say good morning to you and our able board members. Good morning to all. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I'd like to associate myself with all the encomiums that the people who have spoken before me have given to the bank, to our Holdco. Indeed, we have done well. In spite of not paying dividend, all the indices are up. So I congratulate our bank. I congratulate our bank, our Holdco also for being in partnership with ORE to be the first electric vehicle company to manufacture e-tricycles. I think it shows that we are going places, because that's electric vehicles are now the in thing. So I think it's a good one. I'd like to pass a few comments on some of the issues I've seen. If we open to page 39, gross loans by sector, the sector is giving facilities there. I looked at Agric. I know that stated there that it grew by 29.4%. But considering that Agric can actually take a lot out of the unemployment market, I think that our bank should do more in improving the Agric loans given. So as to, I don't know how you're going to organize it. I know that there are some cooperatives and all that who do agree, but I think that we need to improve on the facilities to beyond the 29% that we have given. And also in the education sector, although it grew by 93.2%, but we will notice that it's only 1% of the total. And considering that many of the products that we see from our educational sector these days are, I will use the word below quality. I think our bank needs to help many of the education outfits. I was glad to see that our bank was involved in capacity building for teachers. I think we need to do more, because if we have improved products, it helps all of us, both the bank, both the Holdco and even the public. I also looked at the impact highlights, which is on page 47. Item 9 there, I noticed that you talked about increasing loans to women-owned businesses. But I think that because women-owned businesses usually do very well, and women repay loans whenever they get the facilities from financial outfits, I think that we should also do more to give more facilities to women. Any organization where you have women in leadership, you will find out that profit is always plenty. So I think that we should do more for the women there. And I observed that the women in management at 30% is a bit low. And also women on the board of our company at 29%. I think we can also improve it. And then I came to the issue of the alternative bank. Is one that it gladdened my mind, in the sense that even in the Bible, we want to do away with what we call usury in the Bible. But I have a question. In view of the fact that the alternative bank is supposed to be abide by rules and principles of Sharia. Can a non-Muslim do business with the bank? And if there is problem in the business relationship between the non-Muslim, what kind of what laws would regulate their relationship? That just crossed my mind. And then I looked at page 288, where you have complaints received from customers. I observed that the complaints received in 2023 almost double that of 2022. I think our bank should be, or our Holdco should be more careful. I believe that the complaints that will be received in 2024 is likely to be more, considering the difficulty we see around. So there would be the need to be a bit more circumspect and careful in dealing with the customers. There's a lot of fraud going around, mainly because I believe it's because of the difficulty we see around. That's why there's also plenty of fraud. So there will be many more reported this year. So we should be on our toes. Lastly, I want to comment on one issue that perhaps I don't know how our bank will take it, our board will take it. I noticed that the group CEO, Yemi Odubi, is wearing 3 caps. Group CEO, Executive Director of Sterling, and Non-Executive Director of Alternate Bank. I just wonder, is these other 2 caps of ED and non-ED, were they before he became Group CEO, or is it still ED of Sterling, so that as ED of Sterling, he has a boss? Or is it that he's the boss of Sterling? I think we need to clarify issues. And then I want to join my colleagues who have also mentioned the fact that there is a need to have a minority representation on the board of one of these your companies, either the Holdco itself or the 2 banks, either the Sterling Bank or the Alternate Bank. I think that we on this side of the divide, I think we have become partners in progress, and I don't think that it will be out of place for you to move one of us from this side to join you on the board. On that note, I thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Oludewa, for your comments. I will quickly clarify one that is still fresh. I know the management will still respond to some of the questions and comments, but on Mr. Yemi Odubi as CEO of the group, I can confirm to you authoritatively that is not an executive director in the bank. He left the board of the bank, both in an executive and non-executive capacity, to become the chief executive of the holding company. Now he's on the board of the alternative bank because by the very nature of his job, every company that we are incubating, he must see them through. So he's the eye of the group in the alternative bank. And in that alternative bank is a non-executive director. He does not play an executive role at all. So he's fully committed to the group financial holding company. So at this point, may I invite Mr. Matthew Akinlade. Please let us restrict our comments going forward to just 1 minute so that we can manage time well. And I trust Mr. Akinlade will do this for me. Mr. Akinlade, you have the floor. Mr. Matthew. Akinlade, you need to unmute. Okay.
Maybe his network is dropped off.
Okay, it's dropped off. Okay, while we're waiting for him to come back, may I invite Mr. Ridwan? 1 minute, please, Mr. Ridwan.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. All protocols duly observed.
Thank you.
My name is Prince Hamza Ridwan, and I'm joining all the way from Gusau, Zamfara State. Unfortunately, it seems Mrs. Soludo just took my notes and just delivered a great number of the things I pointed out. But having said that, Mr. Chairman, on page 15, I must commend the futuristic consciousness of our strategy and operating ethos. 16, the operating model, the speed and incisiveness that we have adopted. I'd like to commend the bank for granting members of staff a whopping 40% scholarship granted to over 90 members of staff who did their MBA at NXU. Myself being an NXU student, I'd like to commend us and just wish that we could do more for not just our staff members, but then more to the public. Mr. Chairman, okay, Dr. Farouk has spoken about this. Sorry, I've managed it. Okay, so let's just go to page 68 where we have the CSR. Mrs. Soludo talked about that too. Okay, page 60 and 104, Mr. Chairman, pages 60 and 104. I think those pages talk to board composition. Yes, it had been talked about, but then I just think it is worth mentioning that sorry, I don't know what's happening. Okay. Hello, am I still on?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So while a number of us have talked about minorities representation on the board of some of the subsidiaries, which I join in doing that, Mr. Chairman, I don't think it is out of place if we look at appointing our company secretary as a board member of the group of the Holdco, just to further balance the gender distribution. Okay, then I also think many of our branches, Mr. Chairman, because I am an account holder, just like Dr. Farouk, I have a savings current and my wallet is also with the bank. Many of our customer representatives, I think they need more trainings. What am I talking about? Mr. Chairman, I live in Zamfara State. For more than 2 years on my wallet, there had been this strange number. And I have visited branches in Zamfara, Kano, Abuja, and all over. Not until I got to one branch in Agege on, I think, Iju Road, yes. In Agege, around that Abattoir side. That one lady, that day, it didn't take her 20 minutes. She just sorted the whole thing and restored my wallet to me. So I think we need to do more on getting all our staff members to know how to handle customer matters. On complaints, Mr. Chairman, I think there is need for us to also improve on complaints resolution. In line with what you have said, that we should restrict ourselves to 1 minute. I would just like to stop there, even as I align myself with all the encomiums and accolades by previous speakers. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you so much. May I again appeal to the next speaker not to exceed a minute, and I'm inviting Mr. Adeleke to speak.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Chairman, board members, and fellow shareholders.
Good morning.
Well, Mr. Chairman, it's not too much to join others to welcome you back on the saddle of the holding company, having done your bit and having recorded great landmarks while you are the helm of affairs of the bank. You are welcome.
Thank you.
I also want to join others because if we're having a very smooth first AGM of the holding, it is because a lot of works had gone underground. So I want to commend the company secretariat, and I think it's getting better by the day. Mr. Chairman, everybody had mentioned that our performance has been great. And all the 10 parameters highlighted on page 8 showed positive results, and all the indices are looking upward. But I want to highlight the significant contribution of the alternative bank to the results that we are seeing today. And my commendation goes to those who are holding that bank, that they have started well and that they should continue in that trajectory so that we have very significant contribution from the alternative bank going forward. We've gotten a very good performance and a better earning per share. But there is the need to, and this is an overriding need, there is the need to retain the brand Sterling. I will confess to you, Chairman, that quite a lot of people have had this erroneous belief that in the new round of recapitalization, Sterling Bank is likely to either merge or be acquired. I trust absolutely in our ability to recapitalize the bank and retain this great, this iconic brand that we have. And I believe that we must have seen through a crystal ball that things like this are likely to happen. And that is where vision comes to play. So our transitioning to a holding financial structure has positioned us not only with the alternative bank, but it has given us a room to explore a wider financial market space for purpose of synergy, for purpose of growth, and then ultimately for purpose of profitability. So I just want to say that I will urge fellow shareholders that we need to support all the resolutions, especially the 40 billion increase in share capital. And we need to empower the board to navigate the recapitalization waters in the shortest possible time, but surely within the 2-year time frame that CBN has given the banks. Part of doing that successfully, Mr. Chairman, is ensuring that we do more to give out the unclaimed dividends that most of the minority shareholders are still having with the bank, because that in no small measure may empower them to participate in taking their rights if and when the right issue comes to play. Mr. Chairman, looking forward, I'm trying to see the scenario that may play out in the long term. There may eventually be a need, and it may be inevitable, for the banks to explore share reconstruction post recapitalization. It is likely to give us a market efficient and any per share application that will give more value to the shareholders. I want to believe that we have a very competent board. I salute Sulaiman, Odubi. I think they are doing great work. I also believe that the board should be looking ahead of time to see if this is likely to be one of the ways for us to go post recapitalization, so that the value of our share that value, the ability of our earning per share going forward to service the
Thank you very much, Mr. Deleke. I think the internet is acting funny, but your points are noted. They're all well taken. I'm going to invite just two more people before we bring this part of the proceeding to a close. And now I'm calling on Sir Okelano.
Good morning, my chairman. I am so happy to be with you today and to see you after 10 years, after the wonderful job you've done in the past. I want to tell you this morning that your small absence within the bank is not, the vacuum was not too filled, because the bank, in possession of the Mohammed, the MD of the bank, is doing great work. And I'm very happy to tell you that, my chairman. And I'm so happy when you become the chairman of the holdings. It's our prayer that we should always reap the fruit of our labor. And I pray you will continue to reap the fruit of your labor, and all of us will continue to reap the fruit of your labor. So I welcome you, and I thank you sincerely for giving me a privilege to talk to you today. My chairman, I want to tell you that the Zonal Shareholders Mobilization Committee, in charge of annual general meeting, which I lead, will give you the maximum support that you deserve. We will make sure we get our right issue. But there's something I want you to take into your left hand. Let us also encourage private placements. In one of the voter with the MD, Abubakar, you can bear me witness, Abubakar Suleiman, I mentioned him of a friend who is ready to invest heavily in the bank. He might not get it through a right issue, or let me say through public offer, private placement, which I will be glad to discuss with you anytime convenient for you. Because we want to give you that support. We know what you are doing in the past when you are in the bank, and we know what you are doing presently, and we know where the bank is going. For that, we give you kudos. But I should not forget to mention to you, and I want you to extend our appreciation to the company secretariat led by Temidayo. Despite that the lady could be too busy to attend to some of us, which is not a big deal, Deyo Adeyola has been very, very magnanimous, and she always attend to us whenever the need arises. So since I cannot see you, but you can see me because we are not on video, please give them help me give the company secretariat and the team a good round of applause. Please do that for me, my chairman. Have you done that? My chairman, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Please, I want to see your hand. Clap for the company secretary.
I just
they are doing a very wonderful job.
Excited,
and
yeah.
Yes. And I want to tell you that the sky is the limit. But what is important mostly, the economy is being saturated with banking recapitalization. I want you to do us a favor. When you are about to start, let us do investors forum. I mentioned this to the MD of the bank. It will go a long way because you are trying to access the same markets. And the interest of your shareholder differ. The interest we have in Sterling might not be the same interest we have in other banks, and they're already out before you. So please do us a favor, let that be investors forum, and I believe you will be amazed by the result of your outing. And I pray that the price and the timing will be right. And I want to tell you that God will continue to give you the wisdom to continue to treat us the way you were before. Please, we know what you are when you are the CEO. And now that you are the chairman of the Holdco, please, that accessibility you normally give us before, even if it's not up to 100%, even if it's 50%, it's a pass mark. Give us the same accessibility. And I want to share with all the sentiment expressed by especially Dr. Farouk and Mrs. Top and Iburude, especially on Alhaji Mustafa Jinadu. And I want you to look into that. I've been with him. You recall that I contested with him in Abuja for that same post. Because we were formerly on the board of one audit committee of National Oil, I voted for my position. and we got 11 and 12 when we voted the last time. So it got 12, I got 11. That's why it became big. So I appreciate that, man, because we've been there. We have been together for the past 40 years. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. May God continue to bless this bank, the management, the board, and my best regards.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Balogun. I'm now going to invite Mrs. Bisi Bakari. Mrs.
Thank you,
Bisi
Mr. Chairman.
Bakari,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
kindly spend a minute. I trust you'll do that for me.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to be very brief. I have sent my questions ahead before today's meeting. Almost 2 pages, comments and questions. Therefore, I'm going to be very brief. I associate myself with the earlier speakers. Firstly, I would like to commend the board and management of our company, Sterling Financial Holdings Companies PLC, for taking a proactive step on page 5 on the annual report of an account on resolution to raise additional capital to meet new minimum capital requirement by the CBN. This is highly commendable. But I want to advise this board that please, after approval today, the board should take necessary action immediately. We all remember what happened during the last recapitalization. Delay could be dangerous. We should take action immediately. Page 22. Page 22. Renewable energy. I want to especially commend the board and executive management for the completed solarization of the Sterling Towers and commissioning of 130 solar-powered ATMs bank-wide. This will enable our company to save costs on energy. But I will employ our company to solarize all our branches as well and do more on our ATM machines. Page 36, cash and balance with CBN. This amounted to 606.599 billion. Mr. Chairman, I want to ask a question that do we receive interest on this cash balance with CBN, 606.599 billion? Again, Mr. Chairman, I want to ask that in the year 2024, how do you hope to sustain this level of profitability post-capitalization, focus on leveraging investments in technology and digital channels to drive operational efficiency while optimizing our cost centers? Page 56. Mr. Chairman, I want to ask that how have you been able to manage effectively our operational risk management in view of the substantial rise in our credit loss expenses? As we can see on page 156 also, our credit loss expenses moved from 9.12 billion to 12.3 billion. Lastly, lastly, I just want to use this opportunity to really commend and appreciate our registrar, Pace Registrars Limited, for sending this annual report and accounts over 21 days before today's meeting. This is highly commendable. As you can see from my questions and comments I sent earlier, that definitely I received the report in a good time. Thanks and God bless you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bakari. Let me at this point express our appreciation to all our distinguished shareholders for their comments, very useful comments, very insightful contributions. And the questions will be quickly taken by the managing director of the holding company, and where necessary, the managing director of the bank. Both of them are with us here. So I call on the MD CEO of Sterling Financial Holdings, Mr. Yemi Odubi, to quickly respond to some of the questions. And if you would like Abubakar Suleiman to join, to take one or two, it's also fine. Yemi, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon again, or it's morning still, distinguished shareholders and other stakeholders. A lot of the comments passed have been commendations of management and of the board. We are grateful for these commendations. We've also taken note of the advice that we've received from shareholders, and we want to assure you that we hold this thoughts very dearly. I've taken copious notes, and we will ensure that all the advice given to us goes into our planning framework. We think about all the things you said. We wish to assure you that we take them seriously. So with that said, I will not necessarily respond point by point to what are so many questions. Mrs. Bakari's questions we will respond to in writing, given that she sent those questions ahead of time. Management will respond to those. For the others, I will do my best to just acknowledge the commendation and address the most pertinent questions that have been raised. Mrs. Bakari asked about CRR, whether there's a payment on the cash reserves. There's a token payment. It's nothing meaningful. It's just a material token. It's just a token payment. So you might as well say we are not being paid for the cash reserves held. The Bankers Committee is in constant engagement with the CBN on how the remuneration terms can be improved. So that particular policy is one that simply enables us to support other national initiatives. You can take it effectively as a bit of monetary policy management, and a bit of it is corporate taxation on the bank. So that's the question on CRR. So Okelano says we should consider strategic placement in addition to a public offer and a rights issue. We assure him that we will consider all options and that we will do whatever is required to capitalize the business. And in keeping note of Mr. Adeleke's advice, the importance of retaining the Sterling brand as we consider capital options, we recognize that we've built a very important brand in the Nigerian corporate environment, and we see no reason at all to give up that brand. And we have no doubt that post this next round of capitalization, you will see Sterling Bank operating independently as it has for the last 20 years. Well, not 20, almost 20 years. So we wish to assure you that we will do everything possible to retain the brand. And we have no reason, given the interest we've already seen from potential investors, some of whom have even already deposited their money in the bank, even ahead of a rights issue or public offer or strategic placement being initiated. People have committed to investing in the bank. So we have no doubt that that Sterling brand will be retained. We also acknowledge the positive feedback on the alternative bank and its contributions initially to the group's performance. We assure that we have no reason to believe that the alternative bank won't even do better in coming periods. So we thank you for acknowledging that performance and for encouraging management at group level, at the level of Sterling Bank and at the alternative bank as well. So thank you for that. Ridwan made the point about an improvement in customer service still being required, citing a personal example. We note that. We will continue to do our best to train our customer service agents. The market feedback suggests that our people are above average. We have received very positive ratings, but we know and we acknowledge that there is room for improvement, and we will also continue to work towards these improvements. We invest a lot in training, both internal training and external training for our staff, and we will continue to do this. Redwan also suggested that our company secretary be considered as a candidate for the board of the group. there are very clear guidelines today as to who can be an executive director at group level. There's a new guideline that the CBN has issued. The company secretary at this time cannot be a director in the group. However, we acknowledge that she and her team are doing an incredible job. And as we build out the group, just as we consider outstanding individuals that are visible to you, we will continue to promote internal candidates that we think are outstanding contributors within our business. We've also taken on board the recommendation of minority shareholders that they would like to see somebody who looks like them on the other side. We will take this on board and we will consider it seriously. And when the opportunity comes up, we will reach out to minority shareholders on their thoughts. Again, Mrs. Thorpe spoke about the need to do more in agric and education. I'm sure Mrs. Thorpe is aware that we've articulated for the bank originally, now for the wider group, what we call the HEART strategy. And that has healthcare, education, agriculture, renewable energy, and transport as key sectors of specialization. We agree with Mrs. Thorpe that we should do more in agric and education, and we will do our best to continue to build in this area. She also talked about the initiative with CORE, which is led at this point by the Alternative Bank. Thank you for that commendation. Again, we take it on board and we are encouraged by your comments. Mrs. Thorpe asked a specific question about whether a non-adherent of the Islamic faith can do business with the Alternative Bank. The answer is in the affirmative. Definitely, we do have non-Muslim customers, including the Catholic Church as an institution itself, as customers. And we welcome business from everybody and anybody who subscribes to the values of that particular specialized institution. In saying what will be the principles governing conflict resolution should there be conflict, it is the same regulations, the banking regulations, the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. However, there are certain specific principles that are further imposed, but those are reflected in the product offering of that business. It has nothing to do with the conflict resolution framework. So this will be put up front when we are at the point of buying a product or service from the Alternative Bank. So I think that answers Mrs. Thorpe. Alhaji Tambari, thank you for your kind words. We have taken all your counsel on board and we will bear it in mind as we move forward. Sir Boniface Okezie was very kind in his comments, acknowledged the progress made over the past year. Thank you, sir, for those comments. We also note the comments around dividend, even though you waved it away and ascribed it to the central bank. Much as there's a need to recapitalize various businesses, I think the overriding consideration in 2024 on the matter of dividend was the need to capitalize the businesses that we have promoted as new subsidiaries, and also for the group entity to retain some capital to drive the diversification. So we have got you a second banking license. That business has been capitalized, and we didn't have to come to shareholders to give us new capital for that business. And as you have already seen, that business is a significant contributor to the business of the group. This, more than anything, as well as the capitalization of the parent group itself, is the reason why we have not paid a dividend. The dividend we would have paid would have been far less than what it would have taken to capitalize both the parent group and the Alternative Bank. And we have done this successfully without coming to you. So I think this has been the overriding consideration in not paying a dividend this year. I wouldn't say that it is down to the central bank imposing something on the board of directors of the group. So we are positive that in subsequent years, as we continue to operate and as we continue to do well, you will benefit significantly from your decision to invest in Sterling Financial Services Group. Again, thank you very much. Last but not the least, I wish to acknowledge Dr. Farouk's comments. Most of these are commendations for the management and staff of the group and the subsidiary banks, and the matter of minority representation on boards of operating subsidiaries was also highlighted. We take all comments on board and we thank you for this. Perhaps my colleague, Mr. Suleiman, may want to speak on one or two matters that I may have omitted to respond on. Abubakar, you have the floor, please.
Thank you very much. I mean, I have actually just looked at my list and you addressed every question that was asked. So all I can say is to reassure our distinguished shareholders that we are very committed. We are also aware of the need for speed, and that in fact we are waiting for today's meeting, after which we will proceed into action. So rest assured that we are aware of the need to get to market on time and to make sure that everybody's carried along. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abubakar. Mr. Chairman, back with you, sir.
Thank you, Yemi, for your response. And thank you, Abubakar Suleiman. At this point, I'm going to proceed to move. I hereby move that the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2023, the reports of the directors, auditors, audit committee, and consultant on our board appraisal be and are hereby received. I now call on a member to please second the motion. Comrade Ibrude. Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. I call on the registrars to conduct the voting. Tokumbo.
I second the motion. Thank you. The next item on the agenda.
Thank you, comrade. You've been done. Yeah. Thank you.
Good morning once again, sir.
Yes, the registrar.
So we have about 15 seconds to display our result. Vote is ongoing. We have 15 seconds. 10 seconds to go. 8, 6, 5, 4, 2, 0. So here's the results, sir, for your announcement. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, registrar. I declare that the resolution.
Hello, sir.
Thank you, registrar. Thank you for the result.
Hello, sir.
I can hear you, registrar.
We can hear you.
Okay, sir.
I declare that the resolution has been unanimously carried. I now move to the second item on the agenda, which is the election and re-election of directors. In accordance with section 285 sub 1 of CAMA, Mr. Adeyemi Adeola, that's myself, Mr. Abubakar Suleiman, Ms. Aisha Bashir, Ms. Eniye Ambakediremo, and Mr. Shola Adekoya, being the first directors of the company, will be retiring at this meeting, and being eligible, all the directors offer themselves for re-election. Being a retiring director myself, I have to recuse myself from this part of the proceedings. I'm therefore asking Mr. Yemi Odubi, the Group Managing Director, to superintend the re-election. Yemi, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hereby move that Mr. Adeyemi Adeola is hereby re-elected as a non-executive director of the company. I now call on a member to please second the motion.
I am Sir Olatunde Okelane, the best person to second this motion for my worthy brother, Adeyemi Adeola. God bless you, sir.
Thank you, Sir Okelano. Thank you very much, sir. I now put the motion to the meeting. I will call on the registrars to conduct the voting.
Thank you, sir. We have just 15 seconds to go for the voting. The voting has started. We have 15 seconds, 14, 12, 9, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here is the result, sir, for your announcement, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Registrar. I declare the resolution carried. Mr. Chairman, congratulations on your appointment.
Thank you, Mr. Odubi. Thank you, shareholders, for electing me. I hereby move that Mr. Abubakar Suleiman be and is hereby re-elected as a non-executive director of the company. I now call on a member to please second the motion. Mr. Okezi, please.
I second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. I call on the registrars to conduct the voting.
Thank you, sir. The voting has started. We have about 15 seconds to go to end the voting process. We have 12, 8, 7, 4, 2, 1. So here is the result, sir, for your approval, sir.
100%. I declare that the resolution has been unanimously carried. Congratulations, Abubakar Suleiman.
Thank you very much, Chairman.
That Ms. Eniye Ambakederemo be and is hereby re-elected as a non-executive director of the company. I now call on a member to please second the motion. Ridwan, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I hereby second the motion as moved by yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Ridwan. Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. I call on the registrars to conduct the voting.
Thank you, sir. We've started the process of the voting. The voting has commenced. We only have 15 seconds before we announce the results, sir. We have 15 seconds to go. 13. 8 seconds. 5, 3. The vote has ended. You can now display the results, sir, for your announcement, sir.
100%. Congratulations, Ms. Ambakederemo. I declare the motion unanimously carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, shareholders.
I hereby move that Mr. Shola Adekoya be and is hereby re-elected as a non-executive director of the company. I now call on a member to please second the motion. I can see Alaji Tambari Kabiru. Thank you, Alaji Kabiru, for seconding the motion.
Mr. Chairman, are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
My name is Kabiru Abdullahi Tambari. I hereby second the motion.
Thank you. Thank you, Alaji. And I'll put the motion to the meeting. I call on the registrars to conduct the voting.
Thank you, sir. The voting has started. We have 15 seconds for the voting process. The vote is ongoing. We have 14 seconds to announce the result. 10 seconds, 9, 6, 4, 2, 1. Vote has ended. Here's the result, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Registrar. I declare that the resolution has been unanimously carried. Congratulations, Mr. Adekoya.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, shareholders. Thank you.
I hereby move that Ms. Aisha Bashir be and is hereby re-elected as a non-executive director of the company. I now call on a member to please second the motion. Mr. Adeleke.
I so do, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Adeleke. And I'll put the motion to the meeting. I call on the registrars to conduct the voting.
Thank you, sir. The voting has started. We only have 15 seconds for the process. We have 14 seconds to go, sir. 10 seconds, 9, 6, 3, 1. Voting has ended. Here is the results, sir, for your announcement, sir.
Thank you, registrars. This is 100%. I declare that the resolution has been unanimously carried. Congratulations, Ms. Bashir. We now move to the appointment of external auditors. The third item on the agenda is the appointment of the company's external auditors. I hereby move that Deloitte & Touche be reappointed as the company's external auditors for the year ending 31st December 2024. I now call on a member to please second the motion. Mr. Raji Rashid. Mr. Raji Rashid, you've agreed to second this motion.
Well, in the absence of Mr. Raji Abdurrashid, Mr. Chairman, again, this is Prince Ridwan Hamza, seconding the motion all the way from Gusau, Zamfara State. Thank you.
Thank you, Prince Ridwan Hamza. Thank you for seconding the motion. And I'll put the motion to the meeting. I call on the registrars to conduct the voting.
Thank you, sir. The voting will soon commence. The voting has started. We have only 15 seconds for this. Fourteen seconds, 12, 10. You have 6 seconds to go. The voting has ended. Here is the result, sir.
Thank you,
sir.
This is 100%. I declare that the resolution is unanimously carried. The fourth item on the agenda is to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. I hereby move that the directors be, and I hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditors for the year ending 31st December 2024. I now call on a member to please second the motion.
I, Mrs. Oludewato, I second the motion.
Thank you, Mrs. Thorpe, for seconding the motion. I now put the motion to the meeting. I call on the registrars to conduct the voting.
Thank you, sir. The voting has commenced. You only have 15 seconds for the voting. 13 seconds to go. We have 10, 9, 7. Vote has ended. Here is the result, sir, for your announcement, sir.
I declare the resolution unanimously carried. The fifth item on the agenda is to disclose the remuneration of managers of the company in accordance with Section 257 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. The remuneration of managers of the company is disclosed on page 226 of the annual report for the year ended 31st December 2023. This is for the information of shareholders. The sixth item on the agenda is to elect members of the audit committee. At the close of business on 3rd June 2024, the following three nominations were received from the shareholders to serve on the audit committee. 1, Alhaji Mustapha Jinodu. 2, Ms. Christy Vincent. 3, Mr. Idonsit Udo. The directors' representatives who will serve on the audit committee are Mr. Shola Adekoya, Ms. Enie Ambakederemo. As you are aware, only 3 shareholders are to be elected as shareholders' representatives on the committee. In accordance with the outcome of the nominations by shareholders, and since there are not more than 3 valid nominations, there will be no election. I therefore declare that the following shareholders be and are hereby returned unopposed as members of the audit committee. 1, Alhaji Mustapha Jinodu. 2, Ms. Christy Vincent. 3, Mr. Idonsit Udo. I hereby confirm that the members of the company's statutory audit committee are 1, Alhaji Mustapha Jinodu. 2, Ms. Christy Vincent. 3, Mr. Idonsit Udo. 4, Mr. Shola Adekoya. 5, Ms. Enie Ambakederemo. I now move to the special business of today's meeting. The next item on the agenda is to consider, and if thought fit, pass the following as ordinary resolutions. That the director's fee for the year ending 31st December 2024 be fixed at 157,178,000 naira until reviewed by the members at an annual general meeting. I now call on a member to please second the motion. I call on Mrs. Bakari.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, my name is Mrs. Bisi Bakari. I second the motion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mrs. Bakari. I now put the motion to the meeting. I call on the registrars to conduct the voting.
Thank you, sir. The voting has commenced. You only have 15 seconds for the voting. We have 12 seconds to go. 8, 6, 5. Voting has ended. Here is the result, sir, for your announcement, sir.
Thank you, registrars. This is 100%. I declare the resolutions unanimously carried. The next item on the agenda is to consider, and if thought fit, pass the following subjoined resolutions as ordinary resolutions. 1, that the company be and is hereby authorized to raise additional capital of up to 200 billion naira through the issuance of shares in the Nigerian capital market by way of rights issue, private placements, public offerings, private and or other transaction modes at a price or prices, coupon or interest rates determined through book building or any other acceptable valuation method or combination of methods in such tranches, series, or proportions within such maturity periods and at such dates and upon such terms and conditions as may be determined by the board of directors of the company, the board, subject to obtaining the requisite approvals of the relevant regulatory authorities. 2, in furtherance of the above, the directors be and are hereby unconditionally authorized pursuant to sections 127 sub 1 and 149 sub 1A of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 as amended by the Business Facilitation Act 2022 to increase the share capital of the company by the allotment of up to 40 billion shares of 50 kobo each, ranking pari passu with the existing ordinary shares of the company at any time or times during the period of 2 years from the date hereof. 3, that in the event of a rights issue, any shares not taken up by the existing shareholders within the period stipulated under the rights issue may be offered for sale to other interested existing shareholders, and where following such offer, any portion of the shares remain unsubscribed, the directors are hereby authorized to offer such shares to interested investors on similar terms to the right issue or offer for subscription. 4, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to appoint such professional parties and advisors and perform all other acts as may be necessary to give effect to the above resolutions, including obtaining relevant regulatory approvals and without limitation, complying with the directives of any relevant regulatory authority. 5, that the company secretary be and is hereby authorized to register any increase or increases in share capital with the Corporate Affairs Commission in such incremental proportions or tranches as the Board of Directors in its absolute discretion may deem necessary or desirable. And the Board of Directors is hereby authorized to issue on behalf of the shareholders such resolutions as may be required by the Corporate Affairs Commission. I now call on a member to please second the motion. Mr. Boniface Okezie, do you want to second this for us? Mr. Okezie Boniface, are you seconding this for us?
Yes, I second the motion.
Thank you. Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. I call on the registrars to conduct the voting.
Thank you, sir. The voting has commenced. We only have about 15 seconds for the voting process. Once it's 15 seconds, the results will be announced by the chairman. You have 13 seconds, 10, 8 seconds to go. 4, 2, voting has ended. Here's the results, sir, for your announcement. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, registrars. This is 100%. I declare the resolutions unanimously carried. The next item on the agenda is to consider and, if thought fit, pass the following subjoined resolutions as special resolutions. 1, that the memorandum and articles of association MEMAT of the company be amended to reflect the company's new share capital after the capital raising exercise in the above resolutions. 2, that the board of directors be and is hereby authorized to file the amended MEMAT at the Corporate Affairs Commission. I now call on a member to please second the motion. Prince Ridwan, do you want to second this for us?
Privilege. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I hereby second the motion, but I want you to, Mr. Chairman, acknowledge something, that the trusts and interests shareholders have in this company is the singular reason why all resolutions are receiving 100%. And I want you to give yourselves a round of applause, even as you appreciate your shareholders for the trust and confidence. Thank you very much. I second the motion.
Thank you, Prince Ridwan Amzad, for your kind comments. We will not betray that trust and will continue to render the best that we can give to this company, I assure you. I now put the motion to the meeting. I call on the registrars to conduct the voting.
Thank you, sir. Voting has commenced. We have 14 seconds to go. 9 seconds to go. 5, 3. Voting has ended. Here is the result, sir, for your announcement.
Thank you, registrars. 100%. I declare the resolutions unanimously carried. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as there is no further business to be considered at this meeting, I thank you all for attending the meeting and for taking immense interest in our company's affairs. For me, it's been an honor and a privilege to have superintended over this meeting. Today's annual general meeting is hereby brought to a close. Respectfully, may I call on Mrs. Oludewa Thor to lead us in closing prayers. Mrs. Thor.
Yes. Please let's stand wherever we are. We bow our head for the closing prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for the opportunity you're giving to us to deliberate on issues concerning our holding company. Our Father, we thank you for the deliberation and for the progress that our company has made all this while for the last year's results. We ask you, Lord, to continue to guide our management and board so that by the time we come back next year, we shall have dividends to receive, and your name will be glorified. And for us, as we disperse from this meeting, you will lead us to our various destinations and the various assignments that we have to do. We ask all this through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mrs. Thor. May we now rise for the national anthem. Wherever
we hail thee, our own death.
you.